君はね確かにあの時私のそばにいたいつだっていつだっていつだってすぐ横で笑っていたなくしても取り戻す君を I will never leave you
Battle, then I'll take it to the street where there's no rules. Take off the gloves, rip please to down. Gotta prove my skills, so get down. My lyrical depth is a road battle, smack down now. Gotta shoot to kill, and shoot to skill. Don't you be afraid, man's gotta do how it feels. 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 10. I flip the script to make it to the top 10. Go.
Drinking rock, I walk away from a sunless room. Windless light, moonlight nights. My ghost wish to go.
First to my better shit, thoughts provoke the new era. Become a bit terror, but my only rival is my shadow. We run to play back if it's my own error. Get low to the ground, it's getting better like I told you before. Double up a dead road cheddar. L to the J6, stay laced. Guess my car me with a flush, and I'm the ace.
And welcome to another episode of the Red Leaf Retrocast. Retro Gaming is back. It's been a month. We're talking death. That is the theme today, and it was picked by UK. From the Retrocast. You are here. How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you, man?
A little tired. A lot of wrestling this weekend. A lot of video games have been playing. So good life stuff going on. Still waiting for bowling to start up. I actually went practicing last night. How about that?
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah. I got invited to a new bowling alley that just opened up here in Rhode Island. So I was a special guest for it. So I was like testing out the lanes, giving feedback. It was me and like 20 other kind of amateur pros from the New England area. So that was cool. Nobody from Massachusetts was allowed to come, so that was kind of funny.
Did they roll out the red carpet for you? Get your special bowling ball?
No, but I got free beer last night and whatnot. Yeah, it was kind of like a spur of the moment thing, because they were gonna do a big 11 o'clock at night open like night bowling thing that people do on Saturday nights. But after all the feedback and like shit breaking, and they're like, okay, we're not opening.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. I was like, nope. My ball came back with a ding. Don't do that. That's bad. Because they're also wanting to be approved for tournaments in the future. So yeah. With all the vaccinations going around, bowling alleys took a big hit over the last year, and there's a big movement to try to. They think that vaccinations are back. People are going to want to just have fun at the bowling alley. So we'll see. Joey, tell me about your hangover. Yes. What did you drink last night?
What didn't I drink last night? It was a lot of beers and a lot of shots, from what I remember.
Did you drink Pabst Blue Ribbon?
No.
Ribbon?
No.
Helpful wannabe sponsor of AEW?
Didn't go that low.
Didn't go that low? Well, AEW hasn't gone that low yet, I don't think, either, but Pabst Blue Ribbon wants in.
Oh, boy.
Did you see this, Joey? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So,
I did not see it.
There was a death match on AEW last week, and Domino's... So, there was a dude cutting Chris Jericho with a pizza cutter, and as they went to commercial, it went into a Domino's commercial. And Domino's, WWE snitched on AEW and contacted Domino's. And Domino's got all pissy. They're like, we don't condone pizza cuttering faces. So Pabst Blue Ribbon's response. Synergy. Yeah. So Pabst Blue Ribbon response after Domino's had their first tweet after that. They responded with a beer can of Pabst with a pizza cutter inside it cut. And they go, we are gang affiliated. So that's the news there. It's quite funny. You actually watched the Orange Cassidy stuff, didn't you, Joey?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I watched him and Sting staring each other down.
Devastating battle of wits and physicality, I'm sure.
Yep, the slow motion chest bump. That was great.
It was fantastic. Love it. AEW's been pretty good lately. It's been pretty good. Yeah, rough June. Colin, you're also here. Well, don't you think we haven't forgotten about you, Joey? But Colin, you're also here. Can't forget about you.
Of course you can't. I'm one of the few sober people.
Well, I'm sober too. I'm just kind of tired. Been playing a lot of video games.
I said few in the plural.
Oh.
Plural.
The plural?
I'm not lending much credibility to my statement anymore, it seems.
Credibility? just letters are just taken away and thrown somewhere else. Credibility, plural. Brexit. All made up things. No? All right. I'll just let that fester then.
Yeah, a lot has happened since the last cast. I mean, for one, I got my second vaccine dose.
Hey, congratulations. Kay just got his first.
I did.
Nice. And I managed to snag a couple of vacation days on Thursday and Friday. So that was pretty nice. I
always nice
apparently
having days
got
off.
really lucky with those.
Why is that?
Because at my company, all the senior guys end up snagging all the summer vacation time immediately because it goes by seniority. But
Oh, I see
I
how
got-
it works. Okay. I get you.
Got
I
it.
understand. Yeah. When I was in the when I was working offshore, depending on the rig you were on, you had to the seniority guys got their 2 weeks or week or whatever before to pick before you, and you couldn't overlap with them. That was the rule, but it was not in the rule book. So as soon as I learned that, I went, "No, fuck you! I'm taking my vacation. Figure it out." I'm not playing ball anymore.
Yeah.
Is that in your rule book, Colin?
Depends.
Mm-hmm.
It consequently makes summer work that much harder too, because if all the senior guys are out, then the rest of us have to pick up the slack. That means lots more hours. Sure, it means plenty of overtime, but at the same time, it gets pretty tiring. So
Yes.
I'm really glad I got this vacation time.
Yeah.
But yeah, during that time, I made a quick day trip to Wasaga Beach just to check it out. It's one of those places I kept hearing about after summer vacation, high school. I figured I had to see it at least once in my life.
You never went there?
Nope.
Oh. Well, how about that? Well, you finally went.
Yeah, and it looked pretty cool. I was just kind of scouting out, seeing what was available to do. There's plenty of mini golf courses there.
Yes. I went. That was like one of the first places I went to when I moved to Canada.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. It's a fun place.
Yeah. I also had a funnel cake while I was there.
A funnel cake?
Yeah.
When was the last time you guys had a funnel cake?
Been years.
Me.
Joey?
Yeah, years for me too.
I don't know the last time I've had a funnel cake, so probably years.
At least years. For me, it would have been, I think, when Colin and I went to the theme park in Toronto. I think I had a funnel cake.
Wonderland?
Wonderland, yeah.
Yeah. That's finally opened back up.
So I guess it would be like 3 years.
Yeah,
so,
really.
So years.
Yeah, it's definitely been years, but I do remember.
I don't.
Yeah, it was super tasty at first, but getting close to the end, I was regretting all of my life choices that led me there.
No. You got to embrace the funnel cake because you got to get that powdered sugar just all over your face like a madman, and then you don't wipe it off until the very end. It's like eating a popsicle, but it just keeps dripping all over you, and then it gets on your clothes, and you just go, fuck it, it's already there.
You sound like a barbarian. You sound like a barbarian.
Yes. That's the only way to do these things. if you're gonna eat these, yes, if you're gonna eat these things that are just the worst, you have to just treat yourself like the worst.
This.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I have some self-respect.
no, come on. No self-respect when eating funnel cakes. Not allowed.
Well, you bought the funnel cake, so I guess you're not wrong.
That's right, indeed.
And on Friday night, I visited my brother and his family for the first time in 7 months since Christmas.
Okay, that's pretty
We,
normal in my life.
we had a movie night. We watched, because I may have said it before on a previous cast a long time ago, but my brother has a setup in his basement that's a projector TV on a screen and some pretty kick-ass surround sound. So we watched Pacific Rim.
Like the first
Pretty,
one?
yes,
Oh.
it's a pretty cool experience.
Well, the new Rurouni Kenshin movie like came out today or something. So I'm sure Joey's going to be in on that.
I'll try to, but their movies are just so long. I watched all 4 of the other ones, and they're like 2 hours each.
Live action movie?
Long. Yeah, they're live action. There's now 5 Rurouni Kenshin movies.
Yeah.
Jesus.
They're
Holy
so
shit.
long.
2 of them. Remember when they released the 2 of them, but that's it.
Yeah, the first one I think was like 2013, and then 2 came out around like 2015, and then 2 came out this year. So, but yeah, they're very long.
Yeah, I've said this on a podcast in the past. I watched the first Rurouni Kenshin live action movie on a plane going to Europe when I was moving
But
there.
the experience.
Yeah, I was. Well, yeah, quite the experience. I was moving to London at the time. That was a short period of my life. I want to check out. I've had this on my list since they started, but I figure I wait till all 3 of them came out. It's called Fear Street. It's a trilogy. Takes place across different decades with different characters, but a singular story. It's an
Saw
old.
that advertised somewhere.
Yeah,
I watched it.
You watched it, Joey? All right. No spoilers, but tell me, is it worth it? Is it campy 80s stuff that I wanted?
Yes, it's super campy. So if that's what you're looking for, then you'll enjoy it.
Yes. I think I'll watch one of them tonight. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for it. I waited for all 3 of them to come out because I just wanted to kind of go like one day at a time with them. So
I watched them each week if they came out.
very excited. Very excited for that. Okay, let's see, Joey. So what did you drink again? What were the choices? You had shots
Pretty
of what?
much shots. I think a bunch of Jameson shots, if I remember correctly, and a bunch of different beers.
Just all kinds of craft beers.
Shots, and I just kept drinking whatever people gave me.
Wow, quite the night then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I have played 2 games besides the podcast game. I haven't beaten them, but I'm damn close to one of them, and I just started one that came out a couple weeks ago. It is called Death's Door. It's on Steam. It's by Devolver Digital. Have you guys heard of this game?
I have
No.
not.
I've heard of it. I think my girlfriend mentioned something about playing it because she has a laptop she plays Steam games on.
So it's very affordable. It's like $20-$30 or whatever, and it's got a really high Metacritic score. And usually when like a Devolver Digital game gets something that high, or just in general, it's worth kind of checking out. Watch a Let's Play, see if it's for you. And this game is an isometric kind of action game. Got a small sprite, a lot of action. Colin, I can assure you, you would love this game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it is definitely for you. You're like a Grim Reaper type character. You face kind of cell shaded world. If you guys remember Hades, it's a similar game style like that, but it's not roguelike. It's just straight up adventure. So you go through it, but everything's very much kind of like that. It's probably developed very much based on that. So I've faced a tutorial boss and the first boss in the game, which is like a moving castle. Pretty cool. Very easy game to get into. Quite solid. No slowdowns that I've experienced so far, so that's kind of important. But yeah, it's something I'd recommend. I'm gonna keep playing it and go forward from there. The other game I've been playing is No More Heroes, the first one on the Wii. My Wii is getting love.
Nice.
Have you guys played or heard of No More Heroes?
I've heard of it. I've heard it's good. I've just never played it. I feel like I want to buy it on the Switch though, because I keep hearing about it so much.
I
Joey?
have it in my collection for the Wii, but I haven't played it yet.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Okay. So it's a very campy, fourth wall breaky, Suda 51 game. It's kind of like it's by the same guy who made Killer 7, which we covered on the podcast recently. But it's way better than Killer 7. It's not weird as fuck. It's just an action hack and slash type game. Your character has basically a lightsaber. And there's the whole game is like, it's about this guy climbing the ranks of this Assassin's League, and each boss will get you one further rank up the Assassin's League until you get to 1. I have like 2 bosses left, so I have maybe hour and a half, 2 hours left in the game, assuming I don't die, of course. And each boss is incredibly different from the last, so it keeps it fresh. Some are winners more than others. It's very comedy based. It's very sexual innuendo based.
I heard about
Naturally.
Yeah. So like, your beam saber has a battery, and when you're attacking, it'll slowly run out. And how you recharge the battery is either getting a pickup or masturbating with the Wiimote, and the character will even like throw it in between his crotch, and he'll shake it up and down like a shake weight. And
Suda 51 loves his dick jokes.
There's a lot of them. There's like every female character is cracking small penis jokes. He can't last very long. The men are like super campy, like anti-hero types. Lots of blood, gore, wrestling references up the wazoo in this game.
Of course.
Yeah,
every kind of game.
Yeah, every grab attack is like a suplex, and like you find a lucha mask at the end of each stage, and you gain a new one. It's like, this is the German suplex, this is the tombstone pile driver, this is the double arm suplex. There's an open world in it that is a clear parody of San Andreas. It's Santa Destroy, and I mean, you're on this like super bike, and you traverse it, and you just gain money, and you get enough money, and you can enter the next boss stage. So at first it was a little monotonous, but then it, once you learn kind of the tricks to it all, it goes by pretty quick. The one problem the game has is there's a lot of slowdown when you got a lot of like characters and shit going on the screen. That's very frequent, and I looked into the PS3 port with the Move controller, and they didn't fix any of the slowdown. In fact, it's kind of worse in areas, and there's less.
They fixed it on the Switch? The Switch port? Did the Switch port fix it?
I don't know about the Switch port, but I got the sequel on the Switch. So that's kind of why I picked it up, or at least started playing it on the Wii, and that's that. I am way into it, and I'm definitely going to play the sequel when I'm done with it, since I'm not like overwhelmed like I don't know, Persona 3 with RPGs.
Hey.
So, you guys been playing any more games?
Ninja Gaiden. I've been off and on playing the Ninja Gaiden trilogy. They re-released the remasters of the Xbox version, or I guess the PS3 versions of Sigma 1 and Sigma 2 and Razor's Edge for 3.
Mm-hmm.
They're good games. They're very hard, not easy. They're like honestly, they're not like Dark Souls in the way that you can just dodge and read attacks. You kind of have to know where everything is, and it gets a little cheesy sometimes. Where it's like you can walk into a room and you have like 2 seconds, maybe tops, to react to like 5 guys jumping at you, and they all have like different. Like the white ninjas, they have more defensive abilities, so they'll constantly block all your attacks. There's flying crow things that'll sort of dive attack and fly away, and you have to try to get those in the air. It's a very, very difficult game, but I'm enjoying it. I got stuck on the first game, though, with the platforming section. You have to, like, wall jump and then wall run, and it's such a pain in the ass to platforming in that game that I just stopped playing the first one and just played the second one. That's kind of been it. I mean, I hopped back in and played Cyberpunk for about a couple hours a few days ago. It's, I mean, I guess it's kind of improved. It's kind of not though.
Did you throw it in your PS5 that you claim that you have?
Oh yes, I am. I'm playing it on my PS5 because playing on the PS4 is hell.
Yes, agreed. Is it any better on the so-called PlayStation 5 that totally exists?
It's 60 frames. It runs smoother. There's no pop in. At least not that I've noticed. There's a lot of pop in on 4, which is funny because I first bought the game. I played it on my PS4, and there wasn't any pop in. It wasn't until 3 patches later that all of the bugs everyone was claiming they had, I started having. I should have maybe updated the game then. The PS5 version's been fine. It's just not much different. They keep saying that they fixed certain things like the police AI and everything, but I haven't really noticed.
Joey's
police
favorite.
AI just kind of pops in. Just kind of pop in. The only problem is that they don't pop in initially. It's like a stupid drone shows up first before they all show up to kind of give the illusion that they're running at you, I guess. I don't know. The police in that game are either going to kill you and you have no chance, or are laughably easy, depending on sort of what you do.
Sounds about right.
That's kind of been all I've been doing.
Colin, on your vacation, did you play any video games?
You bet I did.
What you got for me?
Well, for the past month or so, I've mostly been playing Fitness Boxing 2 on my Switch.
Fitness Boxing 2?
Yeah. Let me tell you, it's way more of a workout than you might think.
I don't doubt that part.
Yeah, I usually do like half an hour of it on my days off. Because, sure, my job is pretty physical in nature, but there are certain muscles that need to be worked that my job just doesn't reach. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, so far it's pretty cool. I mean, there's all kinds of different licensed songs that are played in a loop that play in the background, and it's, like I said, fantastic workout if you can't get to a gym. And I've been revisiting A Hat in Time on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Ultimate Edition was available and I wanted to play the DLCs, but the PS4 version doesn't have them for some reason. So it helps that I can plug in my PS4 controller into my computer to play it, so it's just as well. And I finally started up Finding Paradise. That is the sequel to the Moon.
Oh, okay, now I remember.
I'm sure you've heard me mention it once or twice. It's the game I despise so much, it's my third least favorite game of all time.
Yeah, weird that you'd play it then.
I'm hate playing it.
Hate play, okay. I mean, there's...
But serious.
I guess we always got some of that. But you got the, what is it, the remake of World Ends With You?
Nope, the sequel.
Oh, it's a true sequel?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just like a remake with some like additives to it.
Nah, that's the Switch version of World Ends With You. This one is a true full-on sequel.
And what's the full title of it?
It's Neo, The World Ends With You.
Oh, I mean, that's not confusing at all. You could see why I thought it was just like a remaster.
Yeah, really.
What a dumb title. Don't make it confusing at all. Jesus
It's a dumb
Christ.
game.
Square.
God, call it Neo,
Yeah.
The World Ends With You 2.
Oh man, you
Jesus
hear those
Christ.
Kingdom Hearts names? You see the Kingdom Hearts names? I
Look.
think it's made by the same guy.
Look, one guy here is
Yeah.
a big fan of this booing franchise that just makes the most confusing number system ever.
Number system.
Yeah.
Naming
He will not
system,
be
more
named,
like.
though. Guy's a dick, I hear, though.
Yeah,
So,
what
Colin,
an asshole.
Did you play Neo? The World Ends With Matrix? Did you play this game?
Strangely enough, no, I haven't had time because I was busy with my Wasaga Beach trip and visiting my brother, and then yesterday I had to do a whole bunch of stuff around the house. But I do intend to binge play it a bit today after this cast. I did play a little bit of the demo, or I downloaded the demo on both my Switch and my PS4 just so I can compare the two.
Right.
it was a really tough choice, but I ultimately went with the PS4 version because it's got better, it's got slightly more defined graphics and a better frame rate. So
I'm looking at reviews online right now, and it seems that the Switch version is actually slightly superior.
how so?
I guess the graphics engine works a little better with the Switch, and you can, well, people like playing it on the go. I think that's why it has an edge in the reviews.
Yeah, I haven't really been on the go all that much outside of my car and the trucks at my job. So
Well, just play while you're driving. Nothing wrong with that. God.
Yeah, because I
live a
totally
little.
own an auto drive Tesla.
Yeah. If my mom can have one, you can.
Your mom has one?
Yeah, she does. She's very proud of it. She lets me know all the time.
Just rubs it in your face.
Yeah. Next time she pops in to watch Dynamite with us, you should ask her about her Tesla and her playing like Atari games on it.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. When she first got that, she's like, "Have you ever heard of Centipede?" Like, yes, Mom.
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no. This Pac-Man character. He's real interesting.
Yeah. Well, she definitely knows Pac-Man. There's a YouTube video I got her to YouTube gameplay of her playing one of the 3D Pac-Mans on the PS2. It's hysterical.
Do you know what a Mario brother is?
Yes, Kay. She's not totally out there.
Listen, she didn't know what Centipede was. I have questions.
She knows what a centipede is.
I mean, yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, I hope we all know what a centipede is.
Yeah. Joey, you still alive over there?
I'm still alive.
Okay.
Just listening to you guys.
Wait, I have a slight Xenoblade Chronicles update.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Hold the phone. Well, I wasn't prepared for this. Okay, here we go. Playing the music.
Yes.
Okay, it's all yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I played about an hour of it last night because I figured I had to. I didn't have anything to say about it last cast, so I thought I'd do a little bit for this one. Not anything particularly meaty to talk about, but the characters are in a race against time to save a new character's little brother from getting chomped by the Mechon.
Can you just let him die?
I don't think the story will let you.
Ugh, lame.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Shulk can see random visions of the near future now. And yes, it does factor into battle gameplay. 'Cause yeah, it'll show like an enemy doing a particularly powerful attack that may end up knocking out one of your characters, so the game will give you a chance to plan ahead and do some moves of your own to prevent that from happening.
I feel like I played another RPG that had a very similar game mechanic.
I think I feel like they played something similar too.
Possibly.
Maybe if the audience knows what we're feeling, they can let me know at BowlingJD on the Twitter. Red Leaf Retrocast. Is that it,
But,
Colin?
yeah,
That's it? No?
yeah,
Maybe?
that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, in that case, I think we'll move on, and I'm going to play the Persona 3 drop so we can get to
for
talking
it.
about death. All right, so in case people are wondering, or maybe they didn't listen to the anime episode, this podcast was delayed a month or 2 weeks, because I had a computer just destroying meltdown. Trying to.
Sure did.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go to my Twitter from a few weeks back, you can see me just dismantling this motherfucker just to get to a battery, and then it just wouldn't start after that, and it was just anyways. I felt like I was approaching death with my frustration. But Kay, this is your
despair.
Yeah, well, it was definitely filled with despair. That's for sure. Dire, despair, all these negative emotions going through me. This is your theme pick, Kay. Death. Why did you
Sure
want to
is.
choose death?
Well, you see, because we all live, right? And we all live to die, as a famous song once said.
Okay.
No, it's because I looked at the anniversary, because you said like 15 years is usually about the cutoff for these sort of games, right?
Correct.
And one of my favorite games was quickly approaching that number, so I suggested, hey, the game's about death, or at least one of the big overlying themes is life and death, but mainly death. I was like, hey, can we do a death theme? Because I like Persona 3. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And it's definitely all about death, especially with all the symbolisms and just the names of things.
Yep.
Shooting yourself in the head over and over and over and over.
Kaneji boy, yeah, I got you. But it's like, I mean, I can also think of several other games under the same banner. So I was like, yeah, it's probably an awesome idea, because I think it's something I wanted to talk about, at least Persona 3, that is.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's
pretty much
Death or
all about
Despair.
death.
I do like theme picks like this where we kind of think outside the box. In this case, death being a more or less theme in the games, except, well, one of them. One of them is just you will die. that is the theme. I noticed that a lot of these have a like Christianity theme to them in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah,
guys notice
I don't know if I
Persona?
see that.
I think let's
Persona
see,
definitely
one-
has it. It's all over the place.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 out of the 5 here that we'll discuss has a lot of Christianity, death, life and death themes to them all. So religious context when it comes to death is very, well, it's almost like hand in hand with it all.
If you know anything where Persona's sort of main franchise came from, it spun off from, the Shin Megami Tensei, it's all about Christianity, God, death, angels, devils, Satan. Devils are the bad guys, but maybe not really. Angels are the bad guys, good guys maybe. It's all about that. So it's the reason why there's a lot of I mean, I guess not a lot of it. You can definitely miss some of the symbolisms in Persona 3 that have Christianity stuff in them.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's start with the first game. Okay, it is Persona
right.
3.
So Persona 3 was published by and developed by Atlas Games. Came out in July 13th, 2006 in Japan, August 14th, 2007 in the States. It was directed by Katsura Hoshino, and he has directed every Persona game since. I don't know if he directed the first two.
I would doubt that.
Yeah, I know he's directed 3 onwards, though. He's had a hand in each and every one of them, as far as I'm aware. His name is always in the credits for him. At the very least, he has involvement in each of them. So this game was the first SMT game, because originally Persona was a spin-off of SMT.
Right.
And so this was the first one I played. The first one Minnie probably played, be it SMT or Persona, because prior to this, Persona 1 and both versions of 2, that being Eternal Punishment and Innocent Sin, were more like SMT games. Excuse me. They were sort of, the only difference was they were like in a school setting, and you didn't have a demon, like you can in other games, you recruited demons, you didn't recruit them really. You just kind of had your own one that was permanent with you for the most part. However, with the third game, they decided, because Persona 2 wasn't selling too hot, I believe it was Innocent Sin that didn't sell well, they decided to try to shake up the formula, maybe differentiate itself from the mainline SMT game, because the one of the big complaints was it was just SMT in high school. So they decided to add social links, this sort of date sim, social sim feature that sort of allows you to get bonuses based on the arcana, because, don't know if you noticed, but tarot cards kind of important to this game and sort of some of its themes and whatnot. But did that, they changed the name of devils or demons to shadows. Pretty much all of the shadows you encounter, like Pixie and Slime and all of them, are just demons or devils in other games. They sort of tamed it down a little bit in that regard. And it was insanely popular. And this was probably the first, widely regarded as the first Persona game by many, because it's the first one to take on the aspects that would become synonymous with the Persona franchise, whereas the first two did not. I loved this game. I loved it a lot. when I played it at first. I remember staying up really, really late at night, even well past the time I was supposed to, just sinking hours into this game, playing the dungeons, jamming to the music, because got a really good soundtrack. If you guys haven't noticed, the soundtrack is pretty good, pretty banging. And,
yeah?
Big fan of the soundtrack. I really do like it. Never got old in the game. That's for sure.
Especially the battle theme, the baby 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 song.
Yes.
Burn My Dread.
Yeah, you've heard that on this podcast pretty much all year at some point in time.
Oh, my favorite thing was because when it came out, the internet was still kind of like getting on forum sites was still pretty new. So the big memes coming out of this was like "Burn My Bread," not "Burn My Dread." And so once you hear that, you can't unhear the "Burn My Bread" part. It's great.
No.
But I
Never noticed.
Well, there's just a whole bunch of memes. There's the Akihiko, the boxer guy. His "I'm ready for this" sort of meme. I'm ready for this all the time.
Well,
his
okay.
him not being aware of the female form. He's just not aware of his oblivious, all about his training, bro.
Sure.
He's a big swole guy. But I remember sinking so many hours into this game, and the social sim stuff definitely helps its appeal, I think, because if it was just a grind dungeon, go do menial tasks thing, I don't feel like it would have the same punch, even though the story it picks up at the beginning, then in the middle it kind of slowly lulls down a bit as it gets you ready for the big crescendo.
You're telling me.
I think you missed, JD. I think you missed the crescendo because you bitched out and hopped out before you got to it. I'm
Bro,
so mad
okay.
at you for that.
All right, I'm going to interrupt you. This fucking game, this piece of shit, I was really into it for a long time. And this lull period was like 25 hours into this motherfucker. And it lasts for another 20 hours. And I can't handle that. I got so burned out off of just constant simulation dating, just teenage puberty stuff that by the time I had to just grind in dungeon, I was on rinse and repeat for well over 15 hours of just go in the dungeon, grind a lot, get your levels. Oh, simulation stuff. Go in the dungeon, grind a lot. Oh, simulation stuff. Same over and over rinse and repeat formula with the story just not progressing, not going anywhere. And
should have done what I suggested and backload the grinding or front load the grinding, and then when you get to level 40, you could just steamroll a good portion of the game and you'll level up naturally.
I tried all these tried and true formulas that people were recommending to me because you weren't the only one. I tried all these things, and this game I got burned out. It's as simple as that. It just took too long for me to stay in the game, and that's a big negative for me with RPGs, where it just seems like they're wasting your time for needless grind and filler.
Right.
I still think a lot of
enjoy 4 more.
I still
enjoy 4 more.
Well, a lot of people seem to enjoy 4 more.
Yeah. Well, 4 is definitely the one that got popular or made it more of a household name in terms of an RPG.
Yeah. And I really try to put my mind in the set of the era it came out in and judge it based on that. Like a lot of the open world, the samey dungeons part, that doesn't bother me. The overworld, that doesn't bother me. It's just the sense of progression lacks so much in this game that I got burned out. And I pretty much got halfway through the game and just don't feel like it anymore. And that really hurt my perception of how people look at Persona 3. You included, Kay, Mr. Favorite Game of all time and staying up late and all this.
All time. It's one of my favorite of all time. But I think I can see where you're coming from with it, because 4 definitely fixes a lot of those issues by kind of making the level sort of easier to get to. The dungeons are less go up the stairs, go up the stairs, go up the stairs. It's still kind of a little bit that way, but it's a little bit less so. There's more going on, on the walls, and the characters kind of have quips back and forth. So it kind of adds to not making it as monotonous. But I think had I not had fondness for this game, I probably wouldn't be too far off from you, maybe. But this game also came out I think Nocturne. Nocturne was the first SMT game come out on PS2 or PS2 in general. That was Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne 3.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne.
Yeah, the remaster came out recently, and that's a trip.
Yeah, it's pretty dark and brooding, isn't it? The end of the world starts. The game starts with that. Everything dies. Everyone's dead.
Well, okay,
Everything
so
you love in Dream 4 is gone.
there's a big thing in Tensei 3 compared to Persona 3 that was fixed a little bit. Well, no, a lot of bit actually, and that is if you make one mistake in a battle, or maybe an enemy gets the jump on you. In Nocturne, Tensei 3, it's gonna just hit you, and you're dead, and you have nothing you can do about it, and the game starts over because it's game over, bro. It's game over, bro. It's shit out of luck.
Bro.
And Persona 3, that only happens sometimes. You may more often you'll survive, but if you're under leveled, that's I guess that's okay. I just found myself under leveled in certain situations often.
You didn't front load the grind like I said, man.
I did later. This was after this. After these moments. This is how I'd figure out, it's time to grind like 12 levels and I'm just wasting time for hours. That's what it felt like. So
just put a padcast on the background and just mindlessly kill demons.
A padcast?
Shadows in this case.
A padcast?
Padcast? I don't. Listen, I'm tired.
I'm pretty sure you said
started
padcast.
At 1 a.m. Padcast. Padcoat?
Padcoat? What kind of audio do you listen to? Crazy. Okay, Joey. Let's get your take on P3.
I have one more thing to add.
No, your time's over, Kay. It's time for Joey.
I have a question.
No more questions. No more. You answer it after. You ask that after. Okay, Joey. P3.
Yes. Where do I begin? It felt like it took like an hour and a half to actually get into the game.
Thank you. Good. Yes, I
like
agree.
It was a long intro, and then you're like, oh yeah, now we can go to the tower and you can grind. And it like, what's the point of giving me choices when it doesn't really matter?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna have to sit there, and then everyone's like, go to sleep, go to bed. But like, just make this a cutscene and let me just get into it. Don't make me move around to get to the next cutscene when there's nothing in between. So, I thought it was interesting. The music I thought was weird.
Yeah, well,
the rap intro caught me off guard. Was not expecting that. I don't really like the social link stuff. I found it more annoying than anything else.
Overly unnecessary at times.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, your friend who really wants to talk, but you're like, but they also really want you to pick a sport. So if you pick a sport, you can't talk to him. And it's just like, it was just...
you gotta choose your friends wisely.
It was just annoying.
Real life.
More than anything. Well, in real life, you can go to the sport and then hang out with your friend later.
No, you only have a finite amount of time, Joey.
Yeah, apparently. You get one choice, and then you can go to the dungeon if you're not too tired. But if you make yourself tired in the dungeon, you have to wait a couple days. So, I don't know. I didn't like people be like, I'm too tired to keep going. I just want to keep grinding. Like, if I'm going to grind, let me grind. I don't want people being like, I'm done. So, it was an okay game to me.
I'm tired. I'm so tired of this grinding. Let's go home.
Pretty much. I don't want to save the world. I'm tired.
There are bitchy high schoolers with mood problems, and most of them have daddy issues, or at least one of them has daddy issues. Two of them, maybe.
Yeah, they all have this like dead parent syndrome. It's all.
I know, it's almost like it's a theme.
Grow a spine. Jesus. Oh, my dad died in this explosion. Oh, my mom died. My grandma died. Oh, boo-hoo. Colin. You're up.
Yeah. So, I don't know what else I can say that you guys haven't already said, but...
You can complain about dead parents.
I will say I have played and beaten this one.
Dude just no-sold me on the dead parents bit. Oh, man.
And when it comes to the social links, you only have like a finite amount of time in the game to make it happen, because chances are you're not going to complete. Actually, no, there's no way to complete all of them by the end of the game on the first go around. But the game gives you the option to, on a new game plus, that'll transfer all of the progress you made on the social links there into the new game, and then you can see what happens at the end with each one of them by playing it that way around. seems to be a thing in Persona in general. So that's how it was in 4 as well.
And 5, yeah.
I haven't played 5 yet. But the gameplay is quite solid. I mean, it's the usual Shin Megami Tensei fare, but you may need to look up what certain spells do since they're not in English and they're not even clarified in-game. I mean, Persona 4 fixed that, but the original PS2 version of this doesn't do that. Although I think the PSP version does.
Kind of. The PSP version, which I think is the one that JD played, has a lot of improvements, as well as limiting the walking around aspect, so some of the monotonous walking around the spots is gone.
Yeah, you just got like a cursor. And you can play as a girl in that one.
Sure can. The one you do it in, too.
Yeah, when I played it, I had to take a couple of breaks at times just because the grind got pretty monotonous, but I still toughed it out to the end because I wanted to see what happens story-wise. And does anyone mind if I drop a major spoiler about the end?
I mean, I don't care anymore.
Well, the whole death theme, at least I don't know if that's what Kay was thinking when he picked it, but it comes from the fact that the main character ultimately dies and he sacrifices his soul to keep the big bad, Nyx, from coming to the land of the living and destroying humanity.
Oh, Nyx. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of death themes there. Did you notice also the tower you're in is called Tartarus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, ripping off Doctor Who.
And
Unbelievable.
Oh,
come up with an original
Who cares
idea.
about that show? What's a Doctor Who? Who's that?
But yeah, the main character's death is actually one of the most unsettlingly peaceful things I've seen in a game. Because after the whole big climax, he and the rest of the crew, they're remembering nothing of their adventures in the Dark Hour. And they're doing their usual happy-go-lucky times at high school. But after every scene, there's like text at the bottom saying, "You feel sleepy." And he starts feeling more and more sleepy, and then you just ignore it until it culminates with him laying on a bench on the roof with his head in Aegis's lap. That is to say, Robot Girl.
Best girl.
Thing is, she retained her memories about everything. And then he finally falls asleep and consequently passes away, just as the rest of the crew suddenly remember everything in a cutscene and rush to the rooftop. And then fade to black.
Oh. Seems like a kind of satisfying ending. Afterward,
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, I'd say so.
102 hours is the average completion time of this game.
It doesn't take me that long to beat it these days. I know how to speed that shit up now.
Fuck. Yeah, so if you just try to speed through the story, which was what I was trying to do, it only takes 80 hours. That's kind of why I was like at the halfway point. The game goes for about like $35 generally. If you get the PSP version, it's quite expensive these days. Shit.
That one's more expensive. That's widely considered the better version of the game because of the improvements. It doesn't have the bonus content, the Persona 3 FES, the answer ending, which is not worth it because it's just a boss rush mode with the worst protagonist, and not the worst. He plays Aegis the entire time, trying to stop from the seal that the main character dying does, because the main character dies to seal Nyx, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the answer is about them trying to stop that from unhappening. And Yukari, the entire game, is just a bitch, and nobody likes her. She is. I mean, you can see it in the main game. She's kind of a bitch, but she's like unbearable in that game. So don't play the answer. It's not worth it. And it's also not canon anymore.
Oh, Jesus. Great.
I guess it kind of is, but no one acknowledges it because everyone hates Yukari.
I like Yukari, at least in the main game.
Yeah, I played Persona 3 on my Vita, which was the PSP version.
Yes, that's the version. That's the best version to play if you want to get through it quicker. Because, like I said, it knocks down the walking around stuff. The only time you walk around is in the dungeon, and there's a speed function where you can speed through text. I don't know if you noticed that, JD.
Oh, I had that. I had that going. Don't you worry.
Okay, because that makes a lot of the monotonous conversations, especially if, like, for someone like me who's played through it enough. Like the beginning, I could just breeze past all of it.
Oh no, that's not. These things weren't part of my issues. But Kay, you had a question you want to ask us all.
Yes. So, it's only natural with Persona and the social links and the waifu aspect of things. Who is everyone's best girl? Because you have to have an answer. I think it's Aigis, because Aigis is best girl.
Blue-haired chick, I guess.
Green-haired chick with short hair, Fuka.
Yeah, Fuka, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really concentrating on any chick in particular. Maybe I don't know. Maybe smart, snooty girl.
Suru, the one with red hair.
Yeah,
Good choice.
I suppose. Maybe. I don't know. Never got into it.
I'm undecided between Yukari and Mitsuru.
Ah, look at that, Kay. Someone does like Yukari.
I mean, he hasn't played the answer, so he hasn't had her tainted for him.
Well, you just told us not to play it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't play it. Don't play it. Don't worry about it.
Joey.
I was going to say Yukari as well.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my god,
look at that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, screw it. I'll say Yukari too. 3 against 4. You suck, Kay.
You asshole.
She's just misunderstood. You don't understand, Kay. You just don't understand women. That's what it sounds like.
She just got daddy issues is all. She's got daddy issues.
Look,
and her mom
everyone in this
doesn't
game
love
has daddy issues.
her. She has daddy issues and her mom didn't love her. That's
Oh,
all.
boy.
Okay.
Yeah. I passed this game.
I guess I'll pass it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll pass it.
Not happy about it.
Obviously, I passed it.
Okay. Your next pick, Kay.
All right, my next pick is so I couldn't think of a good enough game with death in it that I felt was satisfying enough. So I was like, hey, Mortal Kombat exists. Everyone dies in that game, right?
It's true. It's all about death. Yeah.
So when I thought about Mortal Kombat, I was like, I could pick an older one, but nah, those ones are kind of a lame pick. It's an easy lame pick, lame duck pick. I went for one of the terrible 3D era ones, but the better one of the terrible ones, Mortal Kombat Deception, developed by Midway, directed by one Ed Boon, who still directs the damn games even to this day. Came out on PS2 and Xbox and GameCube, and they had a PSP version called Unchained that don't play because it's bad.
Yeah, it's quite broken.
It came out October 4th, 2004 in North America, and didn't come out in Japan because it has death and skulls, and Japan don't like that. Weirdly enough, despite the fact that Persona has the same things, I know.
That is strange.
Yeah, it's I think it's the more to do with the gore, like the more something with the gore, I guess. Maybe the Buddhism stuff. It's also in it. They don't. There's kind of laws over that. Either way, it doesn't exist in Japan, and the Japanese people don't know it exists until they go to fighting game tournaments, and they don't care. So, I played a lot of this one. I didn't play a lot of the other 3D era ones because they were bad. Like, I went to a friend's place and played Armageddon, and that's like the worst game I've ever played. It's just terrible, and there's no fatalities. It's just push button combos. But this one still has fatalities. It has some of the jank from the 3D era. It has a totally not Street Fighter character called Cobra. If you guys caught on to that, he's totally not Ken from Street Fighter.
Okay.
They totally didn't want to rip that character off. There's a few characters. Like, there's like a totally not Tekken, like Mishima character. Ed Boon was running out of ideas. You know, eventually you can't slap as many colors as you want on ninjas. You gotta have to do something. And he sure did something. Some of the ugliest character designs in any game come from this game.
Oh, is this where it all came from?
Yes. If you notice, there's like the Chaos faction, the Chaos realm, and the Order realm, and just keeps adding on to shit because he's uncreative as fuck. And it's so he can't palette swap a ninja, he doesn't know what to do. So
yeah,
this game
he's
is,
like, I'm gonna make a game that's 3D and Stargate. That's what I took.
Oh yeah, because Conquest mode's bad, but you have to go into it knowing it's bad and laugh at all the terrible voice acting, like Sub-Zero just coming up to you and just talking about his family randomly. Okay, cool, bro. I
liked going around to random NPCs and punching them, and they just go, "Oh, rude."
It's great. It's fantastic. It's also a terrible mode. I've never beaten it. It's just awful.
Yeah, I got tired of it pretty quick.
It's not good. It's widely lauded as a terrible game mode, and they've never done this conquest mode well ever. I mean, some people might say, "Well, one game did it." No, they've all done it bad. It's terrible. The only cool thing is the world building you get from it, I guess. Nothing strikes me as just going up to Sub-Zero and he just tells you his entire life story, and your reaction is like, interesting.
Yeah, they put a lot of lore in this game.
It's like Sub-Zero, like, oh yeah, my family, they died. I'm the head of this Grandmaster clan. My brother's evil, tried to kill me. And you guys are just like, interesting. That's just it. It's great.
So there's a lot of mini games in this game, and
Sure is.
I kind of played all those.
That's
I was
the
like,
best
oh,
part
okay.
of the game.
I was like, oh, okay, deception. Let's get into the main crux. Okay, there's conquest. That's cool, I guess. Little story mode. 3D fighting, just like Virtua Fighter. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. Okay, I kind of like that.
Or jank, though.
I was like, that's pretty cool. I remember Deception, and this game's or not Deception. What was the one that came out? Deadly Alliance. I remember Deadly Alliance. I was like, this is better than Deadly Alliance. That's all I needed to know.
It's the first one.
Yeah. This is better. This was better. And so I kind of then just stuck to the mini games. I was playing Puzzle Fighter a lot. That was fun. I played the wacky chess game quite a lot. That was like really addicting, where you have to learn all the characters' specific little movements and get them around the board. But the Puzzle Fighter was also really fun. So that's what I kind of stuck to. A lot of the characters were very wacky in the game. A lot of new ones. It's like, oh, okay, so that's where this character, like Smoke, comes from this one, right?
No, Smoke comes from 3, but this is the first one where Smoke is not just Great Ninja.
Oh, okay, all right. Noob Smoke or whatever. Yeah.
Noob Saibot and Smoke all come from the 2D games, but now they have 3D models, and you can't just palette swap 3D models, otherwise they all look the same. So make his body made of smoke now.
I see. Okay, yeah. I spammed the shit out of that guy. He was awesome. Computer can't do shit. Combo breakers exist for the first time, I think, right?
Yes, for the first time.
Yeah. I'm trying to like remember all my Mortal Kombat lines of games because there's so many of them now. There were 2 fatalities for the characters. I was like, oh, that's cool. Impossible to get because the button combinations are like 1,000,000 years long.
Oh yeah, it's awful. That's why That's why the next game they just said, "Hey, we have too many characters and we can't think of complex maneuvers, so just create your own fatality." And it's 2 buttons.
Way better.
No, way worse because they all suck.
Way better, way more fun.
You have not played Armageddon and seen that atrocity that is that mode.
But Armageddon has like 1,000,000 characters in it.
Yeah, and they all suck because there's 1,000,000 characters, and you think they could program 1,000,000 characters?
Oh, there's your hater coming out in you again.
You have not played Armageddon. You can't say anything.
Well,
I played that game. It's terrible.
I had goofy fun with Deception. It was simple and appeased me.
The camp in it that Mortal Kombat's known for that they don't do anymore.
The
camp now is, hey guys, remember the 90s? That's like the camp version of it now. Back then it was like everyone was just goofy and over the top evil and just dumb.
I suppose. Joey?
I mean, it's a Mortal Kombat game. What else can I say about it?
I suppose you're right. It's blood.
It was okay. I'm not a big fighter fan, so it was all right.
Okay. Colin?
I could only watch YouTube videos of this one. I did watch Matt McMuscle's video.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of his What Happened videos while I was...
My binge though was actually great.
What happened?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say I saw an open world of Mortal Kombat coming. Of course, then again, I'm not that huge into Mortal Kombat to begin with. And I do like that the game had stage transitions, like knocking a guy through a wall or off a balcony. That's always a cool feature in a fighting game.
Yeah, I like those as well.
You saw it in other games like Def Jam Icon and Injustice Gods Among Us. And seems to be, looks like a 3D fighter along the lines of Soul Calibur. I mean, for me, that's a bit of an unusual choice for a Mortal Kombat game, but I'll go with it. I do remember playing another Mortal Kombat game. I don't know if I doubt it was the same game, but just where you're able to switch between fighting styles between each character.
That's this one.
That's this one.
You have 3 different fighting styles you can change in between. I like that. It added a lot to the game.
It's great. There's also a weapon style too in this game. For each character.
For me personally, as someone who's not huge into fighting games, it's more overwhelming than interesting. But that's just me. Don't take what I say too seriously. But I honestly don't have much more to say about this one. I mean, it's got some cool graphics. Fatalities are kind of cool. Like the one, I think Matt McMuscles played as Cobra, and he did the fatality where he rips the guy's heart out, but then instead of holding it up, he shoves it in his mouth. That was a pretty funny fatality. But for what it is, I'll give it a pass.
I will pass it as well.
I'll pass it.
I'll give it a meditation pass.
I'll pass.
Hey, all right. So the game, the story mode and whatnot, and the extra 16 hours, and the game varies in price from GameCube 35, PlayStation 2 15, Xbox 10. So kind of pick your poison there. Yeah.
I think the GameCube version has like extra characters. You can play as Goro and shit. That's why it's more expensive.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. All right. Okay, my pick. All right, here we go. Holy Diver. I picked the oldest game on this list. Very proud of myself. It came out on the Famicom, Japan, April 28th, 1989. Why is this relevant? Well, it was finally patched and released worldwide July 2018. So you can get kind of repro copies and whatnot if you want. It's got some lore to it, boys. It is the year 666 for the world of magic, and the Crimson Kingdom is facing destruction at the hands of the Black Slayer, Demon King of the Underground Dark Empire. Oh, come on, isn't that awesome? That sounds pretty awesome. I know you guys agree. I don't need to ask you. Realizing that his days are numbered, the 16th, a lot of sixes, 16th Crimson Empire, Ronnie the Fourth, totally not a metal album of the same name reference, and I think the singer was Ronnie?
Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah. Dio, of course. Yeah. It's always Dio. Decides to entrust his 2 infant sons, Randy and Zach, with 2 Ks, very important, to his faithful servant, Ozzy. Yeah, okay. Another metal reference. With Slayers, Force closing in. You see all these references?
You can tell they're like 80s metal bands.
Yeah. Ozzy, Randy, and Zach escape to another dimension with the hope of eventually bringing light back to the world. Blah, blah, blah. So, game consists of 6 stages. You learn magic spells with completing each level after a boss fight. And you got after you beat the first boss, you get a blizzard spell that freezes shit, including enemies, some enemies. You'll find that out in level 2. You have an infinite amount of, they call it a fireball. It's more like a poof smoke thing that has very little range to it. And you have a kind of super attack, which does 3 poof smokes that go further, but you have a limited amount of magic to do that. It plays very fast, like Contra, with no slowdown at all that I experienced. But it has knockback when enemies hit you. You kind of disappear for a second, and that's all in the realm of like Castlevania games. And it's incredibly difficult. It's very fast, very unforgiving in that sense. You do have life bars to it all. The levels, stages are, your forest, castle, cave situation, so it's not straight up, fire, earth, the Captain Planet syndrome that a lot of these older games have.
Huh.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I was able to beat the first 2 stages, dying many a times, and then I got stuck on level 3, and that's how far I got. It was more of a war of attrition syndrome that a lot of these harder games have, but because there's infinite continues, that when you lose your continues, you start the stage over, you don't start the game over. So it doesn't have Castlevania 3 syndrome, where you only get 3 lives and then fuck you. It has, like, Castlevania 1 syndrome, where it's hard as balls, good luck, see how far you get. Ninja Gaiden, also, just like that. And the HUD is much like Zelda 2, so the less appealing Zelda games of all time. I think the game's really good, but fucking hard. And if you can, like, save state this bitch, you will have more fun with it. Otherwise, it's, like I said, your war of attrition syndrome, where you will eventually get farther and farther, but not without putting many, many hours into it because of its difficulty. The death theme is twofold. A lot of Christianity themes, just, with your 666, metal references. All your bosses are kind of Christianity based, and you die a lot. So there you go. I even snuck that in there. It's a game that was on my list for quite some time, especially since it kind of went into the retro collector's realm in 2018, when it finally kind of was accessible to a lot of the Western audience, at least in the circles I'm involved in. And this weirdly lived up to my expectations, but the difficulty is definitely a major deterrent from the game. What did you think, Kay?
Well, I think first off, this is definitely not my kind of game. I'm not very big into the Castlevania-esque ripoff kind of games, or just Castlevania in general. I prefer Metroid, even if I suck at those games. The themes kind of keep me in those. I did get all the metal references, though. You missed 2 of them there. Randy and Zach are Randy Rhoads and Zach Wilde, 2 of Ozzy's guitarists. So there's the reference there. I didn't get past level 1. So that shows you my level of skill. I died like 30 times, and I just said, fuck this game. I'm done. And that was kind of the extent of it.
Well, okay.
So that's all I have to say. I didn't really like it.
Don't like platformers. Okay, all right.
Oh,
Joey,
I suck at them.
what you got for me?
I thought it was hard. I thought it looked good, but the enemies always seemed to be in a position I couldn't hit them, especially the ones that were flying across. They were like a little too high for me to hit it normally, so I died a lot.
Yeah, you're talking about the eyeballs that spit the goo?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to use your kind of triple attack to get there. It's strategically placed where your single fireball won't hit it. So it's a matter of kind of just weird little things like that keep adding to the difficulty of the game.
And then everything just constantly respawns. So
I mean, that's the Ninja Gaiden difficulty to it all. You just keep going further and further on the screen. That's how you make them kind of go away. You can't just.
Yeah, I think I only got through the first 2 levels.
Yeah, that's where I stopped. The boss fights I thought were actually weirdly fair compared to the rest of the levels. So that's kind of funny. Colin, what do you got?
I did not like this one either. It is relentlessly hard, even by NES standards. Just with how many enemies it throws at you, and how quickly they respawn. And god damn are the flying enemies in this game annoying. They're the ones that killed me the most. And I played this for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I just stopped. I was just like, fuck this. I got better things to do with my time. You couldn't guess I fail it.
Oh. I'm gonna call you a hater now. I'm gonna pass it because, like, if it didn't have the infinite continues thing, I would not pass it. That's kind of the make or break for me with these games, because at least they make it beatable if you give it the time and effort to it all. But then the major question with, like, guys like you guys is that worth it to how hard it is? I am very much kind of 50-50 on it. I was in the right mood for it, and that's why I'm passing it. Game goes for about $55 on the Famicom.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get a kind of repro re-release for like $35. And if you speedrun this bitch, you can beat it in like an hour and a half. I've seen people just kind of pick it up and War of Attrition it, and it takes like 4 to 5 hours. So it's not unheard of with old NES games, much like a Ninja Gaiden, much like a Castlevania situation, where that's about right for the era. So I'm passing it with that mindset involved.
I'll fail it. I
Yeah, I
get
bet
past
you
level
will.
1, so I suck at it. What can I say? I'm not good at platformers, let alone Castlevania knockoffs.
Joey?
I'm giving it a soft pass.
Hey, yay! Joe's on my side!
Eh.
I'm not alone. Hooray! I should have picked a 3DO game, but I wanted to play this one. Okay. The next game is Colin's pick. All right.
Hell yeah. This game is God of War on the PlayStation 2. Developed by Santa Monica Studios and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Released on the PS2 in North America on March 22nd, 2005, and in the EU on July 8th, 2005. So, the plot and premise is essentially a modern writing of a Greek tragedy. It centers around Kratos, a former Spartan captain who, in the heat of a losing battle, offers his servitude to Ares, the god of war, in exchange for victory. He then fights more battles at Ares' behests before getting tricked into killing his family. And as if that wasn't bad enough, their ashes are permanently bonded to his skin, which results in him getting the nickname Ghost of Sparta. And now plagued by nightmares of that night, he has sworn revenge against Ares and fights under the direction of the other Greek gods to get his revenge and hopefully be free of the nightmares once and for all. And if I only had cursory knowledge of ancient Greek mythology and you told me this was an actual story created from that back in the ancient Greek days, I would totally believe it. Now, I chose this game because there is a lot of death in this game, much of it by your hand, but the plot is also heavily driven by the deaths of others. Heck, at one point, Kratos himself dies, but literally fights his way back from the underworld to the land of the living. Now, the game is most known for its gameplay, which is legendary for a reason. It's smooth as butter and satisfying as hell. It's like very hack and slash. You got blades on chains with a lot of reach, swinging them around at every which way, and there's all kinds of combos with new powers and abilities that you can perform. And the more enemies you kill, you get blood orbs that you can put towards getting new powers and abilities and combos, and really lets you let loose with your aggression, much like Doom, except not first person. And this game, I don't know about you guys, but this game has one of the best tutorial levels I've ever seen. You're basically in the middle of a stormy ocean with a whole bunch of wrecked ships being attacked by a Hydra. And it does a good job of instructing you on how to do basic actions without taking away from the excitement of the situation. And it ends with you slaying that fucking Hydra by impaling its head on a broken ship mast. All in the middle of a freaking sea-bound hurricane. I defy you to find a tutorial more metal than that. Now,
Well, Kay, what did you think of God of War, the original, that we have to preface at this point in time?
Yeah, because there's 2 games with the name God of War. I love when game studios do that, don't you? It doesn't cause any confusion. So I played this game many years ago because it was one of the first games I got on my PS2 when I was younger.
Damn right.
I really liked it. I don't think I liked the sequel as much because it kind of dropped off after 2. But I remember liking the puzzles weren't. I remember the puzzles being kind of irritating because I thought it broke up some of the gameplay that I was enjoying. I'd be slashing dudes and then stop, do a puzzle. I thought that kind of bothered me, but I didn't think it was so bad in 1. I think 2 is where I drew the line with it. But I enjoyed the hell out of it. Fucking killing giant enemies and stuff was great. The gore, the satisfying swing of those blades around his head was awesome. The combos, so cool. Also, a sucker for gory action games. So this was filling my Devil May Cry stuff after a while when I went back and played it years later.
Oh my god, Devil May Cry. Oh no.
I don't know why I picked Devil May Cry, but I probably should have now that I think about it.
Joey, you and I have a lot of history with God of War.
Yep, I love this game. It's one of my favorites. It's just so much fun. It's what a hack and slash should be. It's just perfect.
A modern hack and slash, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Like good voice acting, good. The skills are fun. There's everything about it is enjoyable. Like, especially, is this the one where you can be the cow after you beat the game that has unlimited mana?
Yes.
I think that was God of War 2.
Oh, I think you're right. I think that, you know what?
Was it
I'll look
2?
this up.
I don't remember which one it was. It might be the second one.
Cow costume. Let's see. It's called the Dairy Bastard costume. And it looks like you can get it in both.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I know there's like a new game plus mode you can do with the new blades you get at the very, very end.
His blades of chaos are replaced with a pair of milk jugs that do the same kind of damage and combos. While wearing this costume, Kratos also has the power of unlimited magic, where the costume also doubles the value of any orbs Kratos obtains. However, his strength is reduced in half, though his defense remains intact.
Yeah, I remember it was easy to beat it with it until you got to the boss, then it was like damn near impossible.
Yeah, we experienced that firsthand.
You lose your magic, so then you're just like handicapping yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. The Dairy Bastard costume. That was good stuff. So yeah, being a teenager playing this game, you can imagine that this was awesome and amazing, and it holds a special place in my heart. Look, this game kind of changed the industry for what action adventure games and hack and slash games are going to be. So many franchises even changed their own model of gameplay into this. The whole Castlevania franchise, they're like, "Oh my god, 3D, we're gonna be another God of War." That's what they ended up changing their game to. That's just one of many instances of how much. And this game also started the QuickTime event being a thing because of how popular it was coming out of this game with the gore and violence of pulling Cyclops' eye out. Ripping heads off, cracking jaws of lions and shit. It really broke a lot of boundaries, not including all the sexual references and having sex and all that. It really, just every game after that just took it up a notch. All to the point where by the time the third game came out, it was all about QuickTime event cutscene gore, kind of taking precedence over the hack and slash gameplay elements of a thing. But yeah, the upgrade system of getting new combos and upgrading your weapons, getting different weapons, including the sword of Aphrodite, I think that's what it was, to throwing lightning bolts, getting different attacks. Everything just compiles onto itself as a real sense of progression, and all for this really cool just overall story of getting to Pandora's box, getting to all these just different gods and deities. The level designs are really fun and interesting to traverse. There's a couple puzzles that cause some headache, like the getting the necklace of Aphrodite is really annoying with the timed spike room where you got to push crates and shit. Or chests.
Yeah, that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, Joey, fun fact. When we played this game and threw it all on YouTube, that one sequence is like one of the most watched videos on the channel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They like our pain.
Yeah, they like our pain and frustration, and probably trying to look to how to solve it exactly in the right amount of time. So I find that funny. Yeah, this is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and it began with the first one, and it's a huge slam dunk. And I've never played a bad God of War game. Does it get a little tiring after you've played 5 of these fuckers, and maybe you got to change it up? Sure. I mean, every franchise kind of goes through that. Tomb Raider, Twisted Metal, just name a couple. But I adore this game. I don't see much wrong with it. I don't have much critique other than a couple puzzles are maybe you can say a bit of a detractor from the gameplay, like Kay said. But then I think you're kind of nitpicking at that point. There's a reason why this got many Game of the Year awards of its era. It's one of the best selling games on the PS2. And let's see here. It goes for about, it only goes for $7-10, depending on what platform you buy it on these days. Because there is compilations you can get. I think it came with God of War 3 with the first 2, if I'm not mistaken. It's not overly long. It takes only about 10 hours to beat, which is nice. Joey, I think we beat the second one in a Friday night and a Saturday morning. Did we not?
Yeah, sounds about right.
I think we did. Yeah. Needless to say, easy pass for me.
I'm definitely passing.
Yeah,
100%
easy pass. Yeah. I just want to point out, I love how this game and the subsequent sequels do a really good job of creating a suitably epic scale for a tale involving Greek gods and titans, which is even more impressive since this was done so effectively on the PS2, along with the music. Just wanted to throw that out before we move on.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a slam dunk game, and it still holds up to this day. Even I threw in the PS2 copy for a little bit. This game is just embedded into my mind. I threw in the kind of remastered version that I got as well. I'm like, okay, so the graphics are a little better, but no gameplay was really changed. Nothing. It's the same game throughout the years. It's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
Joey, last game of the podcast here.
Yep. It is Afterlife from LucasArts. It came out in 96 for Windows, DOS, and Macintosh. It's pretty much SimCity, but you build heaven and hell. And it is weird. The 2 characters that guide you are so weird. Jasper and Ari, I think. They have to oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's a weird game that you just build places to either torture people or let them spend time in heaven.
Okay, I gotta ask, how did this game pop into your head? Because we usually don't pick PC games, but I just found it kind of fascinating, so I kind of let it slide.
I literally, when he said it was death, I just searched games about death, and this came up. So I was like, this is weird enough to choose.
It's definitely got that LucasArts humor to it all.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's something. It's very strange, but it's very SimCity-esque. And actually, you can still buy it on Steam because that's where I got it. So
yeah.
It's still playable.
Yeah, it's the guy who made it's Michael Stemmel, and he was involved in kind of Escape from Monkey Island games, the Sam and Max games. He now works for Telltales, I think. So he did Wolf Among Us, Tales from Borderlands. He this
Is
guy.
that company dead?
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
Kinda. That's what they did with Filed for Bankruptcy. Didn't finish their game, their Walking Dead game.
Well, no, but he's still got Sam and Max coming out or something. I'm not sure.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure about kind of the state of where a lot of the people that worked for Telltale Games end up, because whatever. Let me click on Telltale Games. Let's see what the latest is on them.
The last I remember hearing about them, they died. They filed for bankruptcy or closed down and stuff.
Yeah, it was in 2018 or something.
Something like that.
Let's see. Here we go. In 2019, Sherwood Partners were negotiated and they acquired several key assets from Telltale, and it's kind of a relaunch of the company. So that's what's going on now.
Did you ever finish The Walking Dead then? I feel bad for those people that were invested in that shit. Didn't get to finish it.
It looks like it's only going to be new licenses mostly that's coming.
Oh, that's a dick move.
Well, when you buy assets, some are more expensive than others, and they're just like,
Hey, The Walking Dead's on a decline. I'd imagine you could buy those rights for cheap nowadays. Like
Yeah,
Game of
maybe
Thrones,
later.
Nobody watches it anymore.
Maybe later. Yeah, this game was weird. I don't like. How do you begin talking about it? It's SimCity. You got to build roads and shit, and a gate of hell, a gate of heaven, and then you just kind of appease the dead people, and you just kind of come up with like centers. You have to come up with, what was it, like zones? Is that what the game called it? Based on
Yeah, I
your
think
sins
so.
and virtues? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's very comedic. Really tries to put a comedy aspect of it involved around death. Let's see. Yeah, Colin, what'd you think?
I didn't have a lot of time to play this version, so I watched an LGR video on it.
LGR, okay.
Lazy Game Reviews, for those who don't know, on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it seems like a pretty interesting game. I mean, LucasArts style SimCity game, but with heaven and hell on an alien planet this time and not Earth. And man, a living. There's a lot in it. I mean, can't believe this game already had a human centipede concept in it for the damned souls guilty of gluttony.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeding tubes going ass to mouth, for those who don't know. It's funny, in the description, the guy is reading off what's happening and then has to pause to puke.
Disgusting.
And much like SimCity, disasters will sometimes occur, like hell freezing over. That's pretty funny.
I had a plague strike hell, and I lost like half my progress to everything. And I went, motherfucker. That's
a plague strike hell.
Exactly. I was like, that's stupid. I hate that. It really did a lot of damage. Like, man, all that progress, whatever. Fine.
And sometimes you'll find yourself looking forward to disasters happening in the land of the living, because that means more souls coming your way.
Yeah, there was a plague that also happened in that, and then it overpopulated my area because I wasn't ready for it. I went, my God, stupid plague.
Yeah.
I also had a
noticed...
nuke go off, and it caused an oversaturation of population in heaven. So I end up sending a bunch of people. I was like, close enough. You're going to hell. I don't have room for you in heaven. And then I got a lot of trouble for that. You lose points.
Jeez.
Yeah, I ended up losing my game because I was in debt like too long, because I took out like too many loans or whatever it is, and people were unemployed, and like, man, this sucks. Yeah. That was how I lost. Anyone play like long enough to lose or win?
No.
No.
I
Joey?
didn't play that long.
You didn't play
I didn't play long enough to lose.
Yeah, I noticed that the more built up your planes of heaven and hell are, the more cluttered the visuals become, and thus it's hard to see what's where, which is a bit of a drawback.
Yeah, it gets built up like really quick and really clustered. That was aggravating. I agree with that.
It seems like a pretty interesting game. I'll give it a pass from what I saw.
Yeah, like I'm into the civilization games, the Civ games, not so much SimCity. So I'm like, man, if a few things were tweaked, like maybe if I was against a Lord of Hell and I was the Lord of Heaven, or you can choose between the two, maybe there was different realms that I was competing against, that would be more my thing. But just building up and things like taking away that progress, I just found more irritating. Not a game for me. I see something good here. So I'll be like Joey with the soft pass but definitely not for me.
Fair enough.
So I played. So at first, I had a very interesting experience with trying to get a hold of this game because I didn't know it existed on Steam, and somehow didn't figure it out by googling it. So I originally tried to find a sort of a rip of it, like a ROM rip of it somewhere.
Oh, you're going old school.
And I went real old school. I was like, I'm gonna just try to get a rip, just put it in an emulator somewhere, whatever, right? And DOS emulators, they suck. They don't work. At least the one that I had didn't work. And then I'm frustrated. I'm trying to watch a YouTube video, and my girlfriend, so I mentioned she plays a lot of stuff on Steam, and she's into these kind of games, and I didn't know it was on Steam, but didn't bother to ask her, by fault actually. And she came and she's like, "Oh, what are you looking at that game for? It's weird. You're not really into these kind of games." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I mentioned the podcast and everything." She's like, "Oh, well, I mean, I have it in my Steam library." I was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, it was on sale, like it was summer sale, or whatever, a couple years back, and I got it." Like, oh, you asshole.
That's hilarious.
So I played about half hour of it, and that's all I could stomach of this game. It wasn't bad. It's just not my kind of game. I do kind of like the Civ games, but I never sit around long enough to play a full session of them because it's just too long and too much. I think I'm a little more on the Total War kind of aspect of things, where I just build up giant armies and just swarm people.
Yeah, I definitely like so Civilization games, Total War, those things like that have a sense of direction and goal in mind. I never get that with SimCity and here in Afterlife, and that's a big detractor from me.
Yeah, it's not so it's just not my kind of genre. I know my girlfriend kind of likes a lot of them, like the roller coaster tycoon games and shit. She plays a ton of those. It's just not my genre. So I just kind of sat there and had her help me because I'm sitting there trying to figure certain things out. Like, I don't know, why is there so many people here? What do I do?
Oh, look at that! You got some quality time with the girlfriend playing this. You're welcome.
And she looked at right. And she looked at me each time and told me I was stupid because I was like, so I got a bunch of people, and because I had a bunch of people immediately hit heaven like not too long into the game for some reason. Like there was a nuke I think went off like happened with you.
Yes,
and
sir.
A bunch of people just flooded heaven. And I was just like, I mean, I could just send you to hell. Send you to hell. She's not supposed to play it like that. I'm like, but I mean, he did a wrong thing, and I don't have room here, so fuck him.
That's what I did. I was like, fuck you. Get out of here. I don't got room for you. Go to hell.
It's like, you're kind of a petty crime person. Just go fucking over there. just go over there. Who cares, right? She's like, you're gonna lose the game that way. I'm like, oh, well, this game sucks. And then she's like, yeah, well, it's kind of how it is. It's an old game, and it definitely feels like that when you play it. The visuals are super cluttered. The Lucas humor is there, and I kind of appreciate that in a small, nostalgic way because I used to play the Monkey Island games when I was a kid.
Oh, love those.
I really loved the first game. But I can't say I sat around too long. So I'll give it a soft pass. It's not an awful game. It's just definitely not a game for me.
I am very happy that your girlfriend called you stupid in the middle of the game. That's great.
She did.
I hope it ruined your birthday.
It didn't, because it didn't happen.
I hope it's stuck with you mentally, and you're like, I don't know if she's the one anymore.
Listen, you have no idea how many times she calls me stupid. So if it's stuck with me, if it's stuck with me yet, it's not going to stick with me at all.
Oh man! Look at that, Joey. You're bringing couples together or apart.
By building heaven and hell. I
like that.
Okay, so to reiterate, our 5 games were Persona 3, Mortal Kombat Deception, Holy Diver, God of War, and Afterlife. Kay, it is your theme, favorite and least favorite, and your tiers for the game. A to F. Or S to F, maybe.
My favorite is Persona 3, obviously. That goes without saying. Least, the Holy Diver, man. Fuck this game. So, as for the grades, Holy Diver's in the F. It's so bullshit difficult. Like the people coming off the side of the screen, you can't react. I hate that. God. And it's not like Ninja Gaiden, where it's like I can just bounce off the wall back and react to them immediately. Kind of get that sort of spacing. It sucked. I hate it. A would be Persona. I'd put Mortal Kombat Deception in like a C. I feel like it's fun, but the conquest mode is not good. And the puzzle fighter is a great part of it. I'd put the Heaven and Hell thing, put that in about a C as well. And God of War gets an A as well. So there you go.
All right. I will favorite is God of War, and my least favorite is, I guess it would be Afterlife. So I'll just go down the list. Persona 3, I'm giving it a B. Mortal Kombat Deception, I will also give it a C. Holy Diver, I'm giving a B. So I'm at the other end of the spectrum with you, except I'm not giving it an S. God of War, I am giving an S. I'm going full bore with that game. And Afterlife, I'll give it a C. Like, nothing's broken in it, just not for me. I didn't think it was like totally special. Has some drawbacks. There you go. Joey, you go next.
Favorite is God of War. Least favorite is going to be Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I can see
Persona, B. Mortal Kombat, C. Holy Diver, C. God of War, S. And Afterlife, C.
There we go. We're all kind of in the ballpark. Colin, you're up.
Right. Favorite God of War. Least favorite Holy Diver. And Tears, Persona gets a B. Mortal Kombat, C. Holy Diver, D. God of War, S. That game knocked it out of the park. And Afterlife, C, I guess. High C.
Okay, so that brings Persona 3 to a B score. Mortal Kombat C's across the board. Holy Diver, we all gave it different tiers, so I'll have to kind of think about that one or look at it. God of War got an S, and Afterlife got straight C's. So, not a bad group of games there. Let's see, so we got F, D, C, B. I guess that comes out to a... I guess it's a C. Yeah, comes out to a C. Okay. That was our last group of theme picks, so we'll have to come up with more going forward. Guys, it's a fun cast. See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye now.